During the 2017-2018 school year, an estimated 962,300 violent incidents and 476,100 nonviolent incidents occurred in public schools nationwide. School climate is becoming more and more of an issue every single day in our schools. School climate can be described as how someone feels when they come into your school. What do you see? What do you hear? How do the teachers feel about their students? How do the students feel about their teachers and their school? School climate has four main aspects, and one of those four is safety. Today, the topic we will be discussing is school climate, how to make students feel safe. Safety is definitely one of the things that parents most worry about when sending their child to school. I'm not a parent myself, but I have had several parents tell me that it is hard to drop your baby off with strangers and hope that they will be safe while they're away from you for 7-8 hours of the day. Violence in schools comes in many different colors. It can range from fighting, bullying, harassment, emotional psychological abuse, and even school shootings. In order for the educator to effectively make students feel safe, they must follow these three guidelines. They should have effective training and/or professional development in order to know how to handle situations that may make a student unsafe. They should form loving relationships with their students. And third, they should create a positive school environment. The first quote that I chose was a quote by Randall and Mirandos, and it is, "Schools need to train teachers, aides, counselors, and other adults to learn how to use positive and constructive ways to respond to student behaviors, both positive and negative ones." This excerpt was chosen and is important because educators can never have enough training in order to prepare them for keeping students safe, whether it be a lockdown drill, behavior crisis, or inclement weather. School staff needs to know what to do and how to do it effectively. I think that this quote impacts my professional practice because it's important to train educators how to deal with different types of behavior. At my school, we use a type of discipline called conscious discipline, and we have to have extensive training to understand how to use this discipline effectively. I personally have only been using it since the start of school this year, and I still, it's going to take me several years to know how to do it effectively. I'm going to need a lot of training. Another way that this impacts my professional practice is that it discusses that there are positive and constructive ways to respond to negative behavior. Negative behavior can be frustrating, but with the proper training, the educator and the student can have a positive and safe outlook on the situation. The second way that educators can effectively make students feel safe is to form a loving relationship with the student. So the quote that I chose was by Darling Hammond and DePaulio, and it was, "Stable, caring relationships are front and center in every school building that exemplifies positive climate. Such relationships with teachers and other adults foster students' brain development and are linked to better school performance and engagement. Increased emotional regulation, social competence, and willingness to take on challenges." So this excerpt was chosen and is important because forming a healthy, loving relationship with your student is crucial at any age, whether you teach early childhood, elementary education, secondary. You know, students come to school because they want to feel loved and respected. A lot of them, they don't feel this at home, and so they come to school looking for that affection from you. They look up to you. You know, I teach pre-K, so my 4-year-olds, you know, they think that I hung the moon. And so I am able to give them this by showing them affection and love every single day. And that's why they think that. If they receive this type of affection from any adult, there are positive outcomes that can occur. And receiving this type of affection can cut down on negative behaviors sometimes. This impacts my professional practice because it's one of my goals as an educator to always make sure that my students know how much they're loved. You know, I want them to know how special they are and that I believe that they can do anything that they set their minds to. Another way that it impacts my professional practice is because I was unsure of all the different benefits that come from having a loving and caring relationship with your student. You know, I didn't realize that it fostered their brain development to better school performance or an increased emotional regulation. So reading that excerpt, you know, the quote definitely helped with my understanding. So now that I'm aware, after researching it and finding out those answers, I'm going to strive even harder to make sure my students know how much that I really love them. And the third way for educators to effectively make students feel safe is to create a positive school environment. The excerpt that I chose was by Kraft and Falcon, and it is creating positive school environments is the collective work of principals, teachers, and communities. Schools improve when principals facilitate an open door culture committed to teacher development and provide teachers with specific actionable feedback. This excerpt was chosen and is important because creating a positive school environment helps students feel safe. If they come to school every single day and they see, just dreary and teachers that don't really feel like they want to be there, and classrooms are, dark and depressing, students aren't going to feel safe. Students come into a school where they're greeted with a good morning, how are you? And teachers that are smiling and halls are bright and colorful, then they're going to feel like they're more at home. Some students go home to negative and unsafe environments, so they look forward to coming to school where they know that they're going to be safe, it's fun, it's welcoming, and it's a good environment to be in. This impacts my professional practice because I feel as if my principal has an open door policy. He wants it to make us feel comfortable so that we can do the best job and be the best for our students. It also impacts my professional practice because a positive school environment does have to come from the whole building. We all have to collaborate and work with one another to make our students come in feeling safe and feel positively about their school each day. So throughout this research, I was able to find 3 main guidelines that educators can have in order to help students feel safe. We can make sure that we attend proper trainings, get proper professional development in order to know how to handle these types of situations. We can form loving relationships with our students and create a positive school environment. Students need to feel wanted. They need to feel safe, loved, and respected regardless of their backgrounds. There are many aspects to keeping students safe. Parents trust us with their children each day when they drop them off. And they are trusting that we are providing an environment where the student can learn, but also know that they're loved. It's our job to make them feel loved, make them feel safe while they're at school. So in closing, love your students. And, make sure that you tell them each day how smart they are and how special you think they are and how much you love them so that when they come to school, they associate feeling safe while they're at school, because that's what school climate is all about. And I believe that my school has a great school climate. Thank you.